and welcome back to Nina's Chelsea Corner. Welcome to my channel if you're new around here. I hope you're all having a good day and have enjoyed your weekend. If you're a Chelsea fan, you probably haven't done, but here I am today to give you my match review. Apologies it's so late. I've been doing a lot of things this weekend. Fair play to everyone that travelled up to Newcastle as well to watch that game. But I've slept on it. I've been able to look at it with fresh eyes. If some of you saw, I did do a live reaction yesterday, and it's safe to say I felt a lot angrier, obviously following the game, than I do now. Like, now that it's sort of like sank in, I've made sense of it a bit more, and I feel slightly better about it. And I don't mean in the fact that the game wasn't that bad. No, the game was really, really bad and poor, but I've sat here and I'm looking at the bigger picture, and I'm basically appreciating the fact that there are going to be bumps in the road, that this team is young, this team can show signs of immaturity, and there is still a long way to go, essentially, moral of the story. But yeah, guys, to delve into the loss a little bit more, pull apart the game, I think overall, collectively, everybody can be blamed for that yesterday, and it just simply wasn't good enough. It was so poor, so flat, just no energy, no desire, no fight, like nobody trying to remotely try and get something out of that game. We went 1-0 down in typical fashion, and then I thought, okay, we can still potentially get something out of this game. As we have seen in the last couple of games, we've been showing fight, and we've been showing that we can maybe come back and pull one back, pull two back, get into the game again, and then we did. Beautiful set piece from Raheem Sterling. What a free kick. I mean, absolutely amazing, but nobody's even talking about it anymore because it had to be overshadowed by how poor everything else that followed was. And again, it's okay to have a bad performance, I guess, but when you're losing your heads like that, your reaction is so negative, you're not responding in the correct way to turn it into something positive. You know, when you're angry, good, build up in attack, exert all of that anger into what you perform and put on the pitch, because Newcastle looked so much more aggressive. We weren't responding to their pressure either, and we basically just handed them opportunities on a silver platter. Defensively, one of the worst defensive displays I think this season, and it was so shocking to see that collectively we fell apart big time. I know St James's Park is always a difficult place to play at, intimidating crowds, difficult game, not the best away record there, but at the end of the day we had reason to take some confidence into it. And yeah, I do feel a bit foolish for thinking that perhaps it was a great time to play Newcastle because their injury hit, their bench was nowhere near the level and the strength that they would have usually. They're playing in Europe away at PSG in a couple of days, and still they didn't hold back. They came into this game hungry, wanting it more than we did, and yeah, and they took away 3 points for themselves and 4 goals. So here we are, conceding 4 in 2 games, but we can't even compare the Man City game to this one because they are worlds apart in quality, in performance, in individual displays, everything. I mean, so many players in that squad, and I'm not going to single anyone out. I think collectively, and whoever I mention, everyone is to blame. I mean, Cucurella and Gallagher, it gave me flashbacks to last season really, and in the first 5 minutes I thought to myself, guys, you know what, they've been brilliant. They can afford to have a bad day as long as we aren't, you know, performing like we were afterwards. They can afford so, but no. And really it was so costly. Like Gallagher creating an opportunity for himself easily could have put us in front again, but no, it's just losing your feet, not clinical in front of goal yet again. Nicholas Jackson, our centre forward, costly again, not willing to take a shot, and it's like, when you're not going to do it, Newcastle will. A lot of their chances were sort of created on that right side. You know, Almiron running into us. We were leaving so much space for them. Trippier, we know that he's so dangerous on set pieces. We were giving him silver plates of free kicks and fouls and things that we were just giving away for no reason. picking up silly bookings. I mean, really, we just lost our heads totally. And here maybe I will blame Poch a little bit too, because when you saw how much tension rose in that game, when you saw the players just responding so negatively in a way that just doesn't produce you anything in the game, bring some of them off. You know, you made substitutions, but in my opinion, they were late in the game. Should have come so much earlier. But even still, that doesn't mean and make it okay for Reece James to do what he did. And here he is. I know he put out an apology, and fair enough, but we know that Reece is good on social media and he puts things out that you want to hear. And, you know, he's put that whole message up about being back for us and knowing how much we were affected, not having him out for injury. You know, he was so happy to be back. And now one silly mistake, like, I know injuries obviously are not down to you, but this is the way you respond, the way you don't crack under pressure like that to make that mistake you did, you know, with Gordon. And now you're out again. And yes, you're going to put out that apology on social media, but the truth is we won't have a captain again next weekend. So really, when you look at the bigger picture, it's a shame, because Reece is someone that you do look at now with someone with more experience. I get he's still young. He's obviously a newly appointed captain, and he's going to have days where he makes those mistakes. Hopefully he learns from them, but you just don't do that. You honestly don't do that. And yes, if you're frustrated that you're losing 3-1, then try and get your team together and produce something better, turn it around a little bit, respond with the same aggression and pressure, but in a good way, you know, in build up. But instead, sent off, and then another one conceded shortly after. And Thiago Silva, someone that I absolutely adore, and a lot of you I have seen, because you know that I love him so much and adore him as a player, brilliant and everything. A lot of you have come and said to me, Nina, like, are you now realising, like, this is the conversation we need to have? You know, Thiago Silva, coming of age, he's still playing consistently, regularly, starting games, and he's making mistakes. We've conceded this many goals because of him and whatnot, and although I do hear your argument, I do, and again, should have done way better yesterday. You know, you just don't make a mistake like that. But I almost just feel sorry for him, because it's like, surely you can't pinpoint all the blame on him as well collectively, because like I said, why does it ever need to get to opportunities like that? And I know he slipped, well, yeah, he couldn't quite make the pass, and again, just an individual error, but for me, he's still been brilliant. Whether or not moving forward he maybe is, gonna slowly start to not start games and stuff as well. I truly do believe that a lot of our centre-backs, you know, your Badia Shields and your Disassis and even Fofana for like maybe the 1-2 games he got to play with Silva, he's helped them ease in. Colwell as well, of course, I forgot to mention. And, you know, these players are half as decent as they are because of Thiago Silva, I like to think, because he's played alongside them. So for me, it goes beyond what he performs on the pitch, and I do keep saying that. And I dread to think what happens when he leaves as well. So that's my biggest worry as well, because I still see such a leader there on the pitch. And take Thiago Silva out of that game, where, you know, you could argue one of our most mature player, not one of, the most mature player on the pitch. Like, what happens moving forwards? You know, if Reece, our captain, is losing his head the way he is, for me, Thiago Silva has been someone that has installed a lot of calmness and peace in this team, like tranquility in games where it hasn't gone our way. So this is just something I worry about, you know. I've seen a lot of people throw a lot of criticism towards Enzo Fernandez as well, and yeah, okay, say what you want about Thiago Silva, but that is one train I'm never going to hop on. Enzo Fernandez has been brilliant for us ever since he stepped foot in this Chelsea side, and he was literally saving us in games last season where nobody was producing anything. A lot of the time, we didn't even maximise his strengths, and he still looked like the best player on the pitch, because that's just how good he was. And now that he's coming off the back of maybe a few poor games, I'd say, and he's not on that perhaps goal assist streak that people might want him to be as well, because he himself has had like a fair share of shots and attempts and stuff, just not as what's the word, doesn't have as much power in those shots and stuff, but equally has been so integral in our squad, and nobody has ever been bringing up his price tag up until now. So really, it's like, I know that was such a poor game, but still, I don't back how reactionary people, many people have been. Yes, we have the right to be angry. Yes, we have the right to be disappointed, because that's simply not good enough, especially in the Premier League, given the quality that you're supposed to have, and where we're trying to get to as well. So really, immaturity is one word to describe yesterday's game. It encompasses everything about that game, and yeah, collectively we showed that we weren't able to bring ourselves up from this bad moment, and we're not just going to have good moments moving forward. You know, we're not going to find ourselves playing 9-man teams and being able to go up and score hat-tricks and stuff, and yeah, so truly it was disappointing, guys, and I know I said I'd be a bit more positive and I've just been really negative, but moral of the story, if I can leave one message into this match review, is that this is part of it. It's going to be part of it, and it's not going to be the last game, I don't think. You know, we are going through this roller coaster where we are shown glimpses of hope and what the future could look like, what improvement could look like, because come on, let's not pretend like we weren't over the moon with how good our performance was against Manchester City. You know, we saw glimpses of things that we would love to see developed and improved in the future, players that can potentially get better, but really mentality needs to improve big time. And again, like I said, you don't buy that, you don't achieve it overnight. It's not something that you click a finger and instantly accomplish, and we're gonna have to just give it time. So I guess, yeah, that's the kind of the word that it all comes down to again, but it just another bump in the road, isn't it? Really, really poor. And yeah, I guess that what's the saying, that it gets bad before it gets better. Well, there you go. And some people will probably argue, what, last season wasn't bad enough for it to get better. Well, look, it's just going to show through. Newcastle, they've been playing under how they've built a system. You know, they're playing in Europe. They've got their priorities straight. They want to do well in the Prem. They also want to have a good go in the Champions League, have picked themselves up some really good results, and you can see that they have that mentality there installed in them. And even when you take out first teamers to injuries, there still is some passion there, there's still some fight there, but they also seized the opportunity to expose us on our weakness. I don't think they were brilliant yesterday, but we made it easier for them, and we said, look, there you go, you can run through us here and there, and you can score, and here's a set piece here, and here's a free kick there, and oh, have a foul over here, and we'll take a booking here. And yeah, but there we go, guys, punishment. So I hope that they can all learn a lesson from that. But yeah, really, really poor. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And guys, hop on board, because it's going to be a long season. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. Like this video, and yeah, we'll see you in the next one, guys. Thank you so much.